evening from the Fort Hare University, from Alice in the Eastern Cape. You join us in the proverbial nick-up time. Both fighters have been introduced. They are ready to go. The bell hasn't quite sounded to start this fight. There's a look at the IBF referee, Bobby Ferraro. Mbulelo Botile then, defending for the fourth time his IBF bantamweight title against Marlon, the Filipino challenger. He is the current Philippine bantam champion. He has credentials. I wonder, though, whether he can extend Botile, who really did elevate his status in world boxing after his tremendous defense against Ansi Gideon recently. Bert, would you agree with that?
Yes, well, Nick, it didn't matter who got in the ring with the Botile tonight, who would be an underdog, because Botile is now regarded by many as the best bantamweight in the world. And there's a big physical difference between the two men. You can actually see that. Arlos ducking, making himself even smaller than he really is. And it's worth mentioning that Botile came in right on the bantamweight limit at 53.25. So he's a big bantamweight in the ring there this evening.
Luiso, you must have been very impressed with the way Botile handled Ansi Gideon, his mandatory defense in his last fight.
That is true, Dick. Botile proved by the proverbial mind that he's the best bantamweight in the world today, and probably one of the best champions in the world. The way he dismantled Ansi Gideon in America, in front of Americans, because the problem with our boxing in these days is that to be recognized as good, to be recognized as greatest, to be recognized as one of the greatest, you've got to be an American, all American. But it looks like the Africans now are showing their vibes all over the world. And Mbulelo Botile did just that, and he nearly cut Ansi Gideon's head off. And now today, he's facing the Filipino champion. And it looks like for the first time, we see that Arlos is southpaw. Nobody told us that Arlos was southpaw.
Well, he was pretty much a mystery man to everybody. And I'm told, of course, that the Filipino camp have done their homework. They knew what they were up against, but that doesn't alter the fact that they're up against a great champion. And if I'm not mistaken, I see a bit of blood above the right eye of Arlos, so it looks as though he's already cut.
Yes, indeed, and he knows it too, and this explains why he is letting those punches go with Botile here in the opening round. He knows he's cut. Apologies once again for those technical problems. You were late joining us. I hope we put you in the picture a little bit then. You're watching Botile's fourth defense of his IBF bantamweight crown. Marlon.
Latibai, Simbulisa Slapa, a University of Fort Hare Sports Complex, apho yaqala khona imfundo eAfrika. Phansi kwentaba zalapha, uMbulelo Botile namhlanje ukhusela inkinga yakhe okwesine. Ukhusela ku Marlon Bongo Arlos, umfana oyinjinga wase-Filipino. Mbulelo Botile nguloke unxibe ishoti emhlophe enomigca ebomvu neblue neyellow enxibe ibhutsu ezimnyama. Lo mfana wase-Filipino, umfana omfutshane ubhalwe Bong ngaphambili kwishoti yakhe ebomvu enobuyelo. Okokuqala khange siyazi nokuyazi uba lo mfana ulinxele njengoko ebeze apha eyincwadi ebhaliweyo, kodwa njengoko sesibona ininzi lifikile likaBotile selimchazo lapha.
You can't be on the outside of this guy. You can't be on the outside of this guy. You gotta go ahead and get up close on this guy, right? You gotta get up close on him, right? And don't let this guy go. Don't jump back on this guy. I want some right hands from you, all right? Give me deep breath. Give me deep breath. I told you to check your hands on this guy. When this guy swings, he don't even know what he's doing. So I want you to keep your hands up on him. I want you to move right hands, all right?
Well, here's some replay from that first round, and you see a sharp left hand from Botile. His punch has been thrown straight. And very important that referee Bobby Ferraro did not indicate that that was a butt that caused the injury.
You open your eyes up and watch this guy. Check this out, let's go. Check this out.
Botile made a very patient start to that opening round. No surprise there. He is a slow starter.
And Nick, as I was saying, very important that referee Bobby Ferraro did not indicate that the cut above Arlos's right eye was caused by a butt, because if it was, then, and if this fight doesn't go beyond 3 rounds, then it would be a technical draw.
No, I think quite clearly it was a punch. Arlos didn't get close enough in the entire round for the heads to clash. He was on the outside.
You can see the difference with the boxers as soon as the round starts already. Arlos throws his punches from far away. He's short and he's also trying to be shorter. And the difference then is that Mbulelo Chola, he's throwing his punches straight from the shoulder. That will make him beat Arlos to the punch and may even give him a good one and knock him out.
Yeah, there's lots of power behind those punches of Botile. He's throwing them straight and he's throwing them with lots of shoulder behind the blow. And you can see the damage it's already done to the Filipino challenger.
Mfana sefipilo ukhangeleka eqakeleni yento zisuka amaningi akhe uyahuqa uzanawo ngathi macaleni wenza lokuthiwa kukuhewula abe kuchopha xa ebetha Mbulelo Botile umile nje abaphezu kwakhe umjongile amaningi kaBotile aphuma nje asuka nje ngqo usuka kumagqala aye kule ndawo afana uba aye kuyo umahluko omkhulu owaziwayo uba kuphela usenza ntoni apha amaningi.
Botile just measuring his man on the ropes above us. Hey, Arlos for his part has looked very crude in his opening couple of rounds. Just wild swings, hoping to get lucky. Against the man of Botile's talent, he's going to have to come up with more than that.
Yes, we've seen very little in the way of skill from Arlos, considering that he is a world title challenger. And looking at his record, perhaps the biggest name there was Samuel Duran, and Duran actually stopped him in about, I think it was 6 rounds a couple of years ago. Duran was the Filipino who challenged Orlando Canizales for the bantamweight title challenger.
Hold it, get out, come on, get out.
And Arlos aware here in the second round that he is cut. Certainly his corner would have confirmed that for him between rounds. Just resorting to these big swings, hoping to get lucky. Botile, though, very patient fighter, just measuring his man with that left jab, looking to land the right hand.
And he's ducking real low, and it's surprising that the referee hasn't picked that up.
He doesn't need to duck, he's very short.
I'll never forget what Angelo Dundee said to me when I asked him, if you were training on the walk, what would you tell him to do, Angelo? He said, I'd tell him to duck even lower. And maybe Arlos is following that advice.
Difference of 11 centimeters between the two fighters, which is quite considerable.
Stop!
In fact, Baby Jake Matala, one of the best or probably best shot fighters in the world, he really does that sometimes. In fact, it looks like he goes right down on his knees.
The only time you get caught is when you're on the outside. If you continue to go,
Let's look at that cut. It's certainly going to cause problems through the fight. It's above the eye, but that will run down into that eye, I would imagine.
Circle to the right. Okay. Circle to the right. Use a jab and throw a right hook. Combinations though, more than one punch. Three punches at a time.
The second round confirmed what we saw in the first, and that's Botile sharp shooting and scoring almost at will.
get off this stool, and I'm talking about don't be afraid.
Again, he looks so patient in the corner. He looks so thoroughly in control, and he comes out with a lot of confidence. And why shouldn't he? He's the IBF champion, and he's proving to be a good one.
Yes, as I said earlier, arguably the best bantamweight in the world today. A bit more bounce in Arlos as he came out for the third. And he's actually standing upright, Louisa. But I dare say not for long.
Well, Botile is forced to go low to meet him too on occasion. Digs in a good shot to the body there. That was a right hand to the body scored by Botile. And another one.
Botile really going for the body. The right hand to the body. Trying to measure his man for the big one to the head. All of that is never to the and the calculator is
Hold it. Come on, I got it. Come on.
Botile is certainly finding the range in this third round.
It's always more difficult to punch down at an opponent, and of course Arlos is making it even more difficult for Botile by ducking low, presenting the top of his head as a target.
Well, as I said, he started to find the range. He missed a series of right hands. And you can see how low Arlos is getting to try and evade these punches.
I must say I'm a bit surprised the referee hasn't cautioned him about that ducking low, because he's actually going to be below the belt line of Botile.
In fact, it's going down to the knees, but
Yes, and according to the rules, that certainly is not allowed. But referee Bobby Ferrara sees nothing wrong.
Those punches definitely getting home, and the blood is trickling freely down into the eye. That is a big problem for Arlos. I think he knows he's boxing under a bit of a time limit this evening. How long he can go with that cut, I don't know. It's going to get worse as the fight goes on, one suspects.
and Botile is certainly picking him apart now, tearing him down.
Yeah, this is like master and pupil. No guessing who the master is.
Mbulelo Botile uyixokisa ngokulena yakwa-Arlos. Uyawakhetha amawindi akhe, uwabeka kwezindawo afuna ubeka kuzo. Oku ngathi indoda emileyo iyafoza ukuthi usithi noba sekuphila nakho uhambise kuqala.
Go ahead, John D.
More punches. They must come down. Okay? As they come down, that's why you're catching it. Okay?
Another good round for Botile. You can see why in the replay. Sure, he missed with punches, but then he was punching down an opponent who ducks below the belt line. When he connected, he shook the Filipino to his boots. Or replay from a different angle. And you can see these punches from Botile going in. Hardly missing with these punches and almost lifting Arlos off his feet with the power of the blow.
Keep his hands up behind his face and push this guy backwards and load up. Push this guy backwards and load up. Just got to keep his hands on his face and push him back and load up. Keep him on the back foot.
That's a big close-up of the cut on the right eye. That was caused in round one.
Wait.
Come on, get out of the corner. It hasn't caused Arlos as much trouble as I would have suspected.
That is too bad. I think the corner there is doing a real good job on it because you don't see blood, you just see the cut. And really doesn't cause any problems for Arlos.
Yet it's a wide gaping wound, and one would suspect that it would. So I agree with you, the corner's done a great job.
Although it was certainly starting to bleed into the eye in that last round. Between rounds, though, they do a very good job. Well, let's hope for the challenger's sake that they continue to do a good job. Again, he's forced to get low in the neutral corner.
Come on.
And it is a difficult job for, but you see now the cut has opened up again. It started to bleed into the eye. It is a difficult job for Botile to punch down like this. But very crude and ineffective, Arlos looks. Quite a disappointment. I know they breed them tough in the Philippines, but I think it's going to take more than that to turn this fight. He really needs to come up with some accurate punches. These big swings, just not doing the job for him. And Botile just continues to come forward.
Oh, Botile continues to stalk his opponent, picking his shots carefully. He tries not to go wild with the punches. He does miss, of course, and that's understandable because he's up against a man who's bobbing and weaving and ducking and diving. Not the easiest man to hit.
Well, this action at the moment very one-sided. Botile totally in control.
Botile uyazenzela nje u-Arlos akayazi uba makathini, akayazi noma makabheke kweliphi icala, akayazi noma makadlulisele eliphina inqindi, akayazi noma makasithele ngantoni apha eqongeni. Umbulelo Botile wama nje apha emva kwakhe abeke inqindi lakhe eyona nto yenzekayo ingathi ubhotile uyapractice nje ndiqinisekile ukuba phaya ejimini yakhe kwisparing uba nesparing apho mhlawumbi asiparisha nabafana bakudidi ongahlalwayo amatasa afumana ubunzima obungaphezu kokafumana ku-Arlos namhlanje.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, Arlos has certainly got guts. He was trapped in the neutral corner moments ago. Botile unleashed a series of shots which really did sting him, but it stung Arlos back into the fight. And Arlos really dig deep. He's still digging deep, but it's just not enough. You need skill as well, and he hasn't got it, I'm afraid.
Well, we said whoever got into the ring tonight with Botile would be an underdog, and this man's such an underdog, I don't know what the odds would be.
1,000 to 1.
Terry Stott's working the corner of Botile, not having too much to do.
I hear you. The guy's low. He's a shorter fighter. You got to watch him. He's not trying to butt him. He's just coming in low and his head's down. I'm watching him. He ain't trying to butt him. So
Well, now we see what happened in the fourth round, which is pretty much a repetition of all the other rounds. Arlos ducking very low indeed in an attempt to avoid these punches and making life difficult for the defending champion, who has to punch down at a man who's ducking well below the belt line.
Seconds out, let's go. Seconds out, let's go. Come on, hold on. Hold on. Get that towel down out of there.
Well, here we are, the start of round 5 of this IBF World Bantamweight title fight. No question about it. Mbulelo Botile has won all the rounds so far. And I think the big question is whether Arlos is good enough to last the distance. Somehow I doubt that he will, although he's put up a surprisingly durable display so far.
Yes, durable, but not up to class and ineffective. In fact, you are saying that whether is good enough to last the distance, but now I'm asking myself whether he's good enough to beat our border champions.
Yes, I have to agree with you, Louisa. You begin to wonder how he ever got into the ratings in the first place. There's obviously a vast difference between the quality of boxers in South Africa and those in the Philippines.
Well, at least he's not the #1 challenger. That would be a very sad reflection on the IBF. Botile just keeps coming forward. Really trying to pry apart the gloves of Arlos. Drive that right hand through. Pitching a shutout. That's what they say in the States. The referee's going to have to keep a close eye on this because if Arlos is really not going to offer anything back, he's at liberty to stop this. No point in just seeing a fighter take punishment through 12 rounds.
Hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. Come on, come on, come on.
On the other hand, Nick, Arlos hasn't looked as though he's about to go down. He's taking whatever shots have come his way remarkably well. And although Botile is sharp shooting, I haven't seen a punch that looked as though it was going to put Arlos on the canvas.
Yes, like you just said correctly, that he's showing a lot of durability.
All right, let
One
him go.
would have to say that was his best asset, his chin. It's not the most favourable thing you can say about a fighter. Let's face it. I don't know, he may surprise us and come out with a big swing, but it really would be a surprise.
In fact, what surprises me is that
Let's go, let's go. Come on, get out, get out.
he's not sure which way to stand. He's not sure which pass to throw. And when the pressure keeps coming on from Botile, he doesn't know what to do, which way to move.
Well, you're quite right, Louisa. His stance is all wrong. So when he does throw a punch, it's got little power behind it in any event. And more often than not, it misses completely.
In fact, if there was a place to hide in the ring, I think he would hide what he's doing now.
do it like you did on Sammy Stewart. You got to go ahead and continue to punch. You got to go ahead and put punishment on this guy. You can't let this guy go in off the hook. You're standing on top of it. When he starts going down, step back. Figure out where he's at. You follow me? You got to start doing that.
Yeah, some more replay, and you can see Botile sharpshooting, hardly missing with every punch that he throws. More replay from a different angle. And look at those punches going in. I must say that Arlos has done remarkably well to stay up to these punches. But that's about all he's done.
Round 6 of this IBF title fight. Terry stopped in Botile's corner, was making a good point to him. He was telling him, you're a little bit on top of him. You can afford to take a step back every now and then and drive that right hand home.
Come on.
Yes, especially when Arlos does the duck and dive, which he does often, and goes almost, well, he does go below the belt line of Botile.
Mbulelo Botile uyazenzela kulo mfana wakwa Arlos. Arlos ukhangeleka exakene nento efundini akayazi into makayenze kangoba ukuba ibikhona indawo yozimela lapha kweliqonga noba lihlahla noba yintana na ebenojikela emva kwayazimela uxakile makathina le nto kaBotile iphezu kwakhe ngazo zonke kuba nganyathela emva ngaphi fana kuba ngazama ukugoba ude achophe nochopha amanqindi ayakumfumana kodwa ke into eyenzekayo ebonakalayo uba noko ukomelela kona womelele zezanto kuthiwa zinkalanzinzi ugcina ngofele mfanele ndiwova namanye amadoda usithi xa kubuza impilo athi inkunzi ukugcina ngofele ndabona uba Arlos uyindoda ekholelwayo kakhulu kuloo.
Surprising how often when a man of class fights a man with no class, he finds it difficult to show that he himself has got class. We're seeing evidence of that here this evening. Botile would look so much better if he was up against a man who was prepared to stand up and fight.
Yeah, somebody who would extend him. But as you say, this becomes a difficult fight for Botile now because, as you say, the difference in class is so obvious. We're all expecting him to stop Arlos, and the longer this fight goes, the worse it looks for Botile.
Exactly.
Although, let's face it, he does seem to have a good chin, as Arlos. So perhaps we're not being totally fair. But a very one-sided fight it is.
But he's very crude, and Botile has little trouble in sharpshooting, getting his punches home. The surprising thing is that they haven't had that much effect on this Filipino.
In fact, that is always what happens with crude boxers. They have a way of making you look crude.
Now, Botile in his most recent fights, certainly his right hand which stopped Ansi Gideon, had been showing reasonable power. Are we forced to now go back and say that Botile perhaps doesn't quite have the power we thought he had?
I think the difference, Nick, was that Ansi Gideon was prepared to come forward, and he was himself a classy boxer. And now he's up against a man who has little class, and unfortunately it's making Botile look a little bit, untidy.
Well, a little bit of showmanship from Arlos, trying to get back into this fight, trying to stir himself and build the confidence. But it's an uphill battle.
Yeah, it's a little bit of showboating, hot dogging, but it makes him clumsier, dropping his guards like that and coming and then taking his punches from well behind his body. It's making him clumsier, and now Botile takes him apart again.
Yeah, Botile really landing some good shots here in the corner at the bell. Arlos may smile, but I'm afraid he's just lost another round.
Hey, good job. Hey, when it's noisy, ring that bell. Good. Good job.
More replay from the 6th round of this World Championship fight.
Let's not wait at the end of the round. Just play it. Naman kalisod siya mo back up siya ba? Ikaw mo una.
Take it now. Let's go. Wait, come on. Let's go to that corner. Come on. Let's go, guys.
Well, now we're into round number 7, and Luisa said he would have made the odds 1,000 to 1. Do you still feel that way, Luisa?
I'm even prepared to add now another 1,000.
If only I was a gambling man.
You'd lose your money, Bet.
Yes, I think I'm inclined to agree. I couldn't put any money on Arlos.
Hold it, I got it.
He hasn't got
hold
any
it. Let go.
better the
Come on,
longer the
let
fight
go.
has gone. And if anything, I suppose Botile has got a little frustrated. He's tried all sorts
Watch
of
that
things.
head.
I mean, he's orthodox
Marlon,
down to
watch
his
that
boots. And he's up against a man who is like a jack in the box.
In fact, I think this is supposed to be a tune-up fight for Botile's next big fight, but I think it's
Hold it,
turning
I
out to
got
be
it,
even
I got
less
it,
than a
I got
tune-up
it. Come on, let go.
because his
Come on,
next
let's
fight
go.
is
Let's go.
against
Come on.
one of those American superstars, Paul Ayala, which will be in America. And I think this
All right,
is
hold it, don't wrestle.
training
Hold it,
session.
stop
He's
punching.
just
Come on,
taking
come on.
pot shots at this guy.
Yes, I'm afraid when Botile gets in
Hold
the
it,
ring
hold it,
against
hold
Paul
it.
Ayala, and
Come
that's
on,
the
come on, hold it, I
schedule
got it,
for
come
late
on.
August, he's going to find a different
Bill,
kettle of fish
Bill.
altogether. And then you begin to wonder what this fight does for him.
Oh, Botile just landed a very good right as Arlos tried to throw his own punch.
Hold it.
Botile beat him to
Hold
it.
it, hold
He
it.
may just have hurt the Filipino for really about the first time this evening. I think that blood again is proving a problem as it trickles into the eye.
I must say, I thought that cut on the eye would have been more of a problem for Arlos than it has been.
And you can see Arlos now prominently in his bigger problem is he's been in all the fight. He's struggling now. Well, he's been struggling all the way, but especially here in this round.
Botile has tried everything except perhaps a right uppercut, and perhaps that's the punch that he should be throwing.
Well, I think he's landing so easily with the hooks and the straight punches. He's forgotten about the uppercut. There's another one that goes in, pile driver straight. Arlos is definitely in some discomfort here now, Bert. You can see that.
Oh yes, but Botile needs to straighten up, and the uppercut hooks would do the trick. Don't you agree, Luisa?
It will set him up for a big right hand from upstairs. And like you are rightly saying, he's going for the body. He throws hooks to that body, and then he doesn't really go down and take him up with the uppercut. The uppercut will set him up for a big right hand.
That was a very classy looking punch from the challenger there. He actually threw himself off balance and
now
found
he's-
himself on the canvas. Sorry, Bert.
His bootlaces have come undone, so he's getting a little respite as they tie up the laces.
This has not been a good fight for the challenger.
Hold it,
It's going to need a miracle to turn this one.
Well, I suppose it's fair to say that it's more than his bootlaces that have come undone. His whole fight plan has come undone, if he ever had one.
Well, at this rate, Bong will not hear the gong.
Hold it.
But he does for the end of that round, and a couple of punches off to the bell.
All right. Hey, Doc, come here. Give me the bucket, baby. His eye's getting worse. Go
get it. Listen to me. And we've all told you we don't want no body shot. I mean, we don't want no top shots on this guy. You follow me? You stay downstairs on this guy. We put some pressure on him, right? Give me deep breath. 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 Sometimes put it on. Put it in there.
It is a very bad punch. In fact, the doctor has been called into the ring to have a look at it. With the referee, Bobby Ferrara, and the ringside doctor debates this one.
I think the doctor could stop the fight and put Arlos out of his misery.
Okay, I'll watch.
The referee
I'll
has
give you one more
indicated
chance.
hold of the
Hold on.
time. He's obviously going to make some sort of decision.
I'm giving him one more round. Hold on. Okay.
Yeah, I think Arlos at the moment is living on borrowed time. If he can't get back into this fight, there seems no point in actually continuing. So he's going to go all for broke here
Come on,
when it
let's go.
feels in
Come
the
on,
8th round.
I think the referee is just waiting for something to happen now. He's waiting for
Hold
any
it.
excuse to stop.
Okay.
Well, I thought they had it with that very bad cut, Louisa, but
All right, I got it. Come on.
And I suppose there certainly is a lot of sympathy with Arlos for his pretty brave performance. I mean, he's still here in the 8th round, and I wouldn't have suspected he would be, particularly after being cut that badly in the first. But this jack-in-the-box style of his, and particularly that bob and weave, mostly below the belt line.
Hold it, break, come on.
In fact, as a boxing man now, I'm getting interested to know what ointment the Arlos corner are using for that cut.
Kind of good this time.
Real bad, but it's just not bleeding at all.
Well, more shoelaces have come undone.
Oh, Botile is well, he's not phased by it all, but he's unfortunately he's not looking great himself in this fight. This Filipino is so awkward and so difficult that Botile himself is struggling to look good.
Yes, after that marvelous performance against NC Gideon in the United States, this is a below par performance by Botile here at Fort Hare.
Well, he doesn't have to extend himself. He knows he can win this one boxing any way he chooses, really.
Hold it. Come on.
A little bit of ballroom dancing, and the referee separates the two fighters.
Hold it. I got it. Come on, hold it.
Well, Arlos gets in an uppercut, and then I think he followed up with a left too. Some of the best punches he's thrown in the fight.
I think Botile also attempted an uppercut, and I'd like to see more of those.
Yes, as you say, that is the one punch that could straighten him up.
Hold it. Come on. Hold it. Okay. Hold it. No punch. Come on. Milk.
Well, once again, Botile attempting that uppercut. Perhaps he's got the message at last. But of course, he's got to close the range to throw the uppercut. You can't throw from the outside, can you?
Yes, you've got to close the gap and you've got to walk to the uppercut. In fact, the uppercut is one of the most dangerous punches you can throw as the boxer. You've got to time it because you've got to walk into it. Whenever you throw an uppercut, you're also going to put a hand.
Keep your hand over your eye.
Or for
Tell him to protect his eye. And push the guard back. Tell him to push the guard back. Okay.
Hold on. No, that's worse than it was before. It's worse than it was last time. We don't want to risk him. Seriously. Yeah, I know, but he's hurt. His eye is really bad. His eye is bad. Look, that thing's a gaping wound, and you can't let that go anymore.
The referee, on the advice of the doctor, now terminates this fight.
It's over. Bong does not get to hear the gong for the 12th final round, I'm afraid. He was outclassed, outgunned, and quite what he was doing in the ring with Botile in the first place, I'm not sure.
I don't think any of us are sure, but at least Botile has retained his World Championship here tonight. And very sportingly, he's gone to put his arms around the beaten challenger, Arlos. But a more unorthodox challenger in a World Championship fight I cannot recall seeing.
We thought he had a difficult name, but he had an extraordinarily difficult fighting style.
okucacileyo kwaphela kumgangatho wakhe umbulelo wenzekanga ngokanako kodwa-ke eyona nto ebelushica lo mfana egcine kwafela kodwa-ke kwade kwafika ithuba lokuba uchithwe lo mlo ngenxa yenxeba elinzulu elalapha entla kweliso lakhe.
Well, it wasn't one of Botile's better performances either. He was made to look a little awkward at times by an extraordinarily strange opponent who went so low on occasion that Botile was forced to punch over his head. But he is the IBF champion and he looks forward to bigger things now. The name, yes, Paulie Ayala.
And that's going to be a difficult fight, believe me. Probably will take place in Texas. August is the scheduled date, and it's going to be a difficult one for Botile.
In fact, I think like the NC Gideon fight, that is the kind of fight that will show us who the real Botile looks. What real Botile looks like. One of the best champions pound for pound in the world, and probably the best bantamweight in the world. But today he certainly didn't look the part, simply because of the kind of style he was forced to fight against.
Yeah, you could see there was no real enthusiasm for the fight in Botile. It was difficult for him to get excited, and well, it's the difference in class. The old buck belt and the IBF belt draped over both shoulders, broad shoulders of Mbulelo Botile. A smile breaks through now. That's the evening's work done.
Yet another day at the office for Mbulelo Botile. Perhaps not the best day, but he won, and now he goes on to fight Paulie Ayala. And I believe that by fighting a better class opponent, we'll see a better performance from our champion.
That is very true, because Mbulelo basically is a fighter who fights according to the basics. He throws the jab, he throws the jab, he moves in and out, throws the uppercut and the hook. And then now, when such boxers are crowded, having to, number one, go forward, or number two, punch down, like he was forced to do by
the next bout is
they
between
look bad,
Ayala
and Mbulelo certainly looked bad today.
Our last bout
Well,
is between Ayala
Mbulelo Botile has retained his world bantamweight title here this evening on a technical knockout in, I suppose we call it the 9th round because the bell actually went. And that's what the record books will show. But the action actually stopped in the 8th.
Mbulelo Botile wenze ngolo hlobo wayibetha le ndoda, kodwa ke siyathemba ukuba xa edibene namadoda awazi ngokuphelela umcimbi abanjengopaulie Ayala, njengokuza kwenzeka xa esiya eMerika phaya ekupheleni ka-August, uzaphinda azicacise abe ngulo Mbulelo Botile simaziyo. Ngaba namhlanje bedibene nentlama edibene nerhali abexakile ukuba makayithini na. Kodwa eyona icacile yona iyo yokuba umlungu wakhe uyayibetha ngayo yonke into